Welcome to 15 Minutes with Dad, the show where we connect, support, and empower fathers to be the backbone their families need. I'm your host, Lirec Williams, and every story, every lesson I share here is rooted in my journey as a dad and the powerful tools found in my book, Man Up From Our Trauma to Being Impactful Fathers. It's a guide for turning pain into purpose, and you can grab your copy today on Amazon. The perfect gift for fathers this holiday season. If you're finding value in these conversations, take a moment to rate the show. Your support helps other dads like you discover this platform and join us in the mission of fatherhood empowerment. Let's continue to grow together one step at a time. Now let's dive into today's episode. Okay, welcome to another episode of 15 Minutes with Dad, where we dive into the practical tools and strategies for thriving as co-parents and so much more. I am your host, Lirec Williams, and today we're talking about something that can truly set the foundation for a peaceful co-parenting relationship: creating a collaborative parenting plan. A parenting plan is not just a document, it's a blueprint for how you and your co-parent will work together to raise your children. It brings clarity, reduces misunderstandings, and helps ensure that your children's needs always come first. In this episode, we'll walk through 6 key steps to crafting a parenting plan that works for both parents and, most importantly, your kids. As we go through these steps, remember, you don't have to figure this out on your own. For more detailed guidance, check out the accompanying ebook, Co-Parenting Made Clear, where it's a co-parenting plan where you could just fill out information. There's also an ebook, 7 Key Steps to Co-Parenting, that I created, and you can have it all if you visit 15 Minutes with Dad, and you'll be able to find that ebook, which includes templates and an additional tool to help you create your own parenting plan. So let's dive in. Parenting plans are all about creating clarity and consistency, but they also require collaboration. This process might seem daunting, but breaking it down into manageable steps can make it a lot easier. Today, I'm going to walk you through 6 key steps to crafting a parenting plan, complete with examples to help you see how these can work in real life. So let's get started. The first step is to identify core values and goals. This step is about aligning on what you both want for your children. Start by discussing the core values you share, things like the importance of education, health, emotional well-being, or even family traditions. When you know what you're working towards together, it's easier to create a plan that reflects those priorities. Let's start with the first example. If both parents value education, you might agree on a shared goal to support tutoring if your child struggles in school. If health is a priority, you could align on providing consistent meals and extracurricular activities that promote physical fitness. For emotional well-being, you might agree to set aside regular one-on-one time with each parent to ensure your child feels connected and supported. The second step in this co-parenting plan is to outline your parenting time schedules. This is one of the most critical parts of any parenting plan because it provides structure for when your child will be with each parent. This includes weekdays, weekends, holidays, and even vacations. A good schedule is fair, flexible, and focused on the children's best interests. For example, weekdays with one parent and weekends alternating between parents. Splitting summer vacations evenly with each parent taking 2 weeks. Or rotating major holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas so that the child has time with both families. As we move on to the third step, you can discuss and allocate responsibilities with your co-parent. This step involves deciding who will handle specific areas like healthcare, education, extracurricular activities, and day-to-day care. Clearly delineating these responsibilities help avoid misunderstanding and ensure that each parent knows their role. If you're going to do all of the medical appointments while the other manages school-related responsibility like parent-teacher meetings. That should be discussed. Both parents can agree to consult each other on major decisions like which school the child attends, which hospital they go to, what kind of doctors they have inside of their life, what kind of care they get. And you also can create a shared calendar for extracurricular activities so both parents can stay updated and involved. The next step I want to talk about is how you would plan for financial contributions. And I think that for those parents that are still trying to juggle whether or not to do child support, or if you're getting into child support, there is all of these nuances that go into play. But creating a co-parenting plan will kind of help open up those doors when you're building those financial contributions and who pays for what. So step 4 is plan for financial contributions. So finances can be a major source of tension in co-parenting. Hell, it's a major source of tension in a relationship. It's probably one of the biggest reasons behind infidelity that people divorce and all that stuff. So it's important that if things didn't work out and you find yourself co-parenting, that you try to get that part together, because it's going to be a wild ride for the next 18 so years, however long. But having clear guidelines makes it easier. It doesn't fix it completely. That's financial stuff is like a personal thing, but it makes it easier if you give guidelines to it. This includes child support, healthcare costs, education expenses, and extracurricular activities. Some parents find it helpful to set up a joint account for children's expenses to manage contributions transparently. But agreeing on each parent's share of extracurricular fees like sports or music lessons, like I know back when I was a younger parent, I wanted my daughter to go and be into extracurricular activities, but I was like, if I pay for it, will her mom take her there? There was like all these different issues that could come about, and so I had to be not only the one that found the extracurricular activities, but paid for it and picked her up to take her, no matter what part of town she was on. But it's good to establish a budget for back to school shopping and splitting costs evenly. I know that most parents or mothers, from what I know in my experience in this parenting world, that most mother go to the dad and say, yo, pay this stuff. Like, I need this for this. I need this for this. I need this money for this. I need some money for that, but there's never like a time where there's not always a time where the parent says, okay, hey, I'm paying this. You can just pay me half back. Or if you give me half towards this and I'll come up with the other half, I just need something towards this. Like that is a easier way to navigate these finances than to say, yo, give me money because your son needs this or your daughter needs this. So like also creating a joint savings account for larger expenses like college tuition, if that's what you guys agree upon, that you want to provide that opportunity for your child. It's important that y'all get this financial part intact, because without it, all the rest of the things become null and void. I should probably put that first, honestly. But step 5 is to incorporate communication guidelines. How you communicate about the kids is just as important as the plan itself. This step involves agreeing on how and when you will share updates, handle emergencies, and resolve issues. It sounds tedious almost, but in reality, it's like a company, like a corporate company. You literally have to manage this process. So an example for that would be like weekly email updates to share highlights about the child's school performance and activities. Because hear me out, mothers that would listen to this episode. There are dads out there that really care for their child, and when there's times where they may find themselves on child support. And when they're on child support, they're going to work because now they have this extra bill on top of their regular bills to pay you on time and pay child support on time, or they will, go to jail, or they won't be able to. And if they pay child support, most fathers are literally not being able to take care of themselves. So they're having to work more jobs because they're on child support, henceforth forcing them to miss a lot of things. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't take excuses in regards to that. But in reality, there's a reality that plays a part in when somebody has this big financial burden now, $500 every 2 weeks or whatever have you for their child. They have to go and make that money somehow so that they don't, and they're thinking that if they don't make these payments, they can't see their child. And if you're not receiving child support, some of you are taking their child from them. So I want to say that this communication guideline, by them working so much harder to kind of meet this new demand of income, that this bill that they have to pay every week out of their check, the least that could be done for them is an update on the highlights of their child's that week, on a performance, on a game or activities, things that they're in, because they're not being able to be present. Some of them are not being able to be present because they're working hard. So like, this is a middle ground that you could do to make that father feel a lot closer to their children whenever they're missing all these things because they have to work. That is not an excuse, but I think that it's a middle ground for both parents to kind of agree upon. And another example will be to use like text messages only for urgent matters, with regular discussions happening through phone or email. Like mitigating this so that you are not in a relationship, you are not in a direct relationship with that person. You're not dating them. So you don't have to have immediate accessible contacts. Some parents think that that's what is needed because just in case something happens. But if you lay it out and said, hey, when it's urgent, text me. When it's this, call me, those kind of things, or just email me if there's anything that like you can calm down a lot of stress, because when you put it in written format, parents usually will have to think. If it's text message, it's not going to come out as a thoughtful response. But if you tell them, hey, send me an email, it might, because it takes a little longer to write an email. And the last one would be like establishing a shared document or app to track important information like doctor's appointments, schools, events. There's different things that could be put in place to kind of do that. There's a lot of co-parenting apps out there. I actually want to do an episode reviewing co-parenting apps. And finally, step 6, include flexibility for changes. Life is unpredictable, and as your kids grow, their needs will change. Build flexibility into your plan by agreeing to periodic reviews and adjustments. Schedule a yearly review of the parenting plan to see if any changes are needed. Agreeing to revisit the schedule if one parent's work hours change significantly is an option. It's like being flexible that people's lives change, allowing for short-term adjustments during special circumstances like school trips or family emergencies will be very helpful in your co-parenting plan. So creating a collaborative parenting plan is one of the best things you can do for your children and for your co-parenting relationship. It provides clarity, reduces conflict, and keeps everyone focused on what matters most, the well-being of your kids. If you'd like more guidance on creating your own parenting plan, check out the Co-Parenting Made Clear ebook, which includes templates, tools to help you get started. Having a structured plan in place can make all the difference. Next week, we'll talk about managing unexpected challenges in co-parenting, because no matter how great your plan is, life will throw curveballs. We'll cover strategies for staying adaptable and working through those tough moments. Until next time, be sure to subscribe to 15 Minutes with Dad on any streaming podcast platform. Make sure that you rate us and you share it with somebody that you think would benefit from this information. And follow us on social media at 15 Minutes with Dad for daily co-parenting tips. Remember, collaboration isn't just about compromise. It's about working together for the love of your children. And just like that, we've hit an end of another epic journey here at 15 Minutes with Dad. I'm your host, Lirec, and I am thrilled to have shared this time with you. But guess what? The conversation is far from over. Want to dive deeper into the Dadverse? Check out our website at 15minuteswithdad.com and join our vibrant community on Instagram, Discord, and TikTok for your daily dose of dad inspiration, camaraderie. And here's something special. Subscribe to our newsletter at 15minuteswithdad.com for exclusive goodies and behind-the-scene peeks you won't find anywhere else. Got a burning question or a dad moment that made you proud? We're all ears. Submit your questions and share those special moments with us for a chance to be featured and shout out on our show. It's your time to shine in our dad community, so tap in with our Discord, and our server is at 15 Minutes with Dad, so tap in for that. Engage with the community, and you will be featured on our show. Each week we will do another feature, so join in. Love today's episode. Spread the love by sharing it with a friend and leaving us a review. Let's get the word out and grow our awesome dad family, because guess what? When you give us a review and you rate our podcast, you give everybody the chance to enjoy what you've enjoyed about this podcast as well. So mark your calendars, because new episodes drop every Thursday of the week. Ready for more heartwarming stories, laughs, and dad wisdom? We can't wait to have you back. But until next time, keep being the amazing dad you are. Every day is a new adventure and every moment is special. Catch you on the next episode. Love, peace, and chicken grease.